In the early 5th century BCE, the world trembled under the weight of one empire, the vast and unstoppable Achaemenid Empire. At its peak stood a ruler of immense ambition, Xerxes I, known in Persian as Xerxes, King of Kings. Born around 518 BCE, Xerxes was not just any prince. He was the son of the legendary Darius I and Queen Atossa, daughter of Cyrus the Great. This lineage didn't just give him power, it gave him destiny. When Xerxes ascended the throne in 486 BCE, he inherited the largest empire the world had ever seen, stretching from the Indus Valley to Egypt, from Central Asia to the edges of Europe. But he didn't just want to rule the world. He wanted to expand it. Years before Xerxes' reign, his father Darius I suffered a humiliating defeat at the hands of the Greeks during the Battle of Marathon. That defeat burned like fire in the Persian royal memory. When Xerxes took the throne, he inherited not just an empire, but a vendetta. His target, the fiercely independent city-states of ancient Greece, especially Athens. But Xerxes wouldn't make the mistake his father made. He would come with overwhelming force. Before marching into Greece, Xerxes did something astonishing. He reshaped nature itself. He ordered the construction of massive pontoon bridges across the Hellespont, allowing his army to march from Asia into Europe. He commanded the digging of a canal through Mount Athos to prevent naval disasters. Ancient historians like Herodotus describe an army so vast it seemed endless, possibly hundreds of thousands strong, though modern historians debate the numbers. This wasn't just an invasion, it was a statement of dominance over the natural world itself. In 480 BCE, Xerxes' forces collided with a small but legendary Greek resistance at the Battle of Thermopylae. Leading the defense was Leonidas I, king of Sparta. With just 300 Spartans and a few thousand allies, Leonidas held off the Persian army in a narrow mountain pass for days. For Xerxes, it was shocking. For the Greeks, it became immortal. Though Persia ultimately broke through, the battle became a symbol of courage against overwhelming odds, a story retold for centuries. With Thermopylae breached, Xerxes marched south. Athens was evacuated, but not spared. The Persians burned the city, including sacred temples on the Acropolis. Smoke rose into the sky as a message. Resistance would be crushed. For a moment, it seemed like Xerxes had won. But the war wasn't over. In a dramatic twist, the Greeks lured Xerxes' navy into the narrow straits of Salamis. There, under the leadership of Themistocles, the smaller Greek fleet outmaneuvered and crushed the Persian navy during the Battle of Salamis. Xerxes himself watched the battle from a throne overlooking the sea, and what he saw was the beginning of defeat. Without naval support, his massive army was suddenly vulnerable. After Salamis, Xerxes made a critical decision. He returned to Persia, leaving part of his army behind. That army would later be defeated at the Battle of Plataea, marking the end of Persia's attempt to conquer Greece. The dream of total domination slipped away. Back in Persia, Xerxes turned his attention inward. He completed and expanded the grand city of Persepolis, leaving behind monumental architecture that still stands in ruins today. But his reign grew quieter and darker. Court intrigue increased. Power struggles simmered beneath the surface. In 465 BCE, Xerxes I was assassinated in a palace conspiracy, likely orchestrated by members of his own court. Xerxes I remains one of history's most debated rulers. To the Greeks, he was a symbol of tyranny and excess. To the Persians, he was a legitimate king, maintaining a vast and complex empire. To historians, he is something more complex, a ruler caught between limitless ambition and the harsh reality of resistance. He commanded one of the largest military campaigns the world had ever seen. He bent nature to his will. He burned cities and built wonders. But in the end, even the King of Kings could not conquer everything. The story of Xerxes I is not just about war. It's about the limits of power. Because no matter how vast an empire becomes, there is always a frontier it cannot cross. Follow History Chronicles for more.